So what is good, people? Welcome to another investing video. In this video, we are continuing our Investing $1 a Day series. This time we are in episode 39, which means we need to have a minimum of $273 invested into each asset. And so here we are on our spreadsheet showing all of the different investments and where we're at. And we are going to jump right into metals. So metals have been doing all right. We can see that our current investment in gold is $209.22. Silver is $72.28 for a total investment of $281.50. And let me make sure that matches up here. Yep, 281.50. Now the actual value, so gold is 262.05. So let's change that. 262.05. So that's actually gone up. So that puts us at 25% profit for gold. If we take a look at silver, it's at 88.14. And so silver has gone down. Actually that's 88.14. So silver has gone down a bit and we are still up by 21%, almost 22%. On our actual silver investment. So we're still looking good there. Overall, we're at $350.19 for our precious metals investment. And we can see that it's kind of been up and down for both gold and silver. Gold is still holding pretty well. However, silver has dipped quite a bit. It's actually gone down probably the lowest in some time. So hopefully this trend does not continue. What usually happens is we see when other assets go up, metals go down, and we have seen other assets go up quite a bit. But overall, we are still way up on metals. We're up by 24% overall. So we're still doing really, really well. So now let's jump into stocks. And so we're going to start things off by looking at our Bitcoin, our free Bitcoin. Remember, this was $1 in Bitcoin that we got from Robinhood, and it's now sitting at $1.26 because Bitcoin has jumped up quite a bit since we got that $1. It has gone back down. It was over 100,000 at one point. Now it's sitting at 94. But I am getting to a point where I feel like I need to reinvest this into something else. I haven't decided yet, but that's something that I will do. And so if we go into our actual stocks, the first one we're going to look at is Starwood Property Trust. And if we take a look at our spreadsheet, we invested $17.06 into Starwood Property Trust, which is currently sitting at $22.68. So it's gone up a little bit, just by 2 cents. And so that gives us a profit of $5.62, and we're up by 32, almost 33% on Starwood Property Trust. So if we take a look at any actual dividends, so we did get a stock lending payment that was from last month, actually. I don't see one from this month yet. But we still have a dividend payment from October. So I believe this is a quarterly dividend. So it might be a little bit before we see our next one. So we're not going to see one soon. But overall, we're still way up on Starwood Property Trust. If we jump into our next stock, we got EOG Resources. So for EOG, we invested $112.75 into EOG, and the current value is 128.06. Let me see if I can just copy and paste that. So it's actually gone down quite a bit. Paste it in here. Plain text. So it's gone down by quite a bit. We're still up by $15 and we're still up by 13%. So we got in at a good time. We're able to get those shares at a pretty good time. It was actually just a little over 1 share. So we're still up by quite a bit. I don't know we have any dividend payments coming in. Looks like the last dividend was in October, was at the end of October, 96 cents. And I believe this is a quarterly dividend as well. So it's going to be a little bit before we see another dividend payment. But this is actually new. I have not seen this before. Our customers by percentage increased by 32%. That's interesting. So we get to see basically the Robinhood stats, what Robinhood people are doing with this stock. And there's actually a lot of people buying it right now. So hopefully that will show the price going up pretty soon. We will see. So jumping into our next stock, we got QYLD. So if we take a look at our investments, we had $56 invested into QYLD. That is currently sitting at 69.10. So it's actually gone up 69.1. So we are up by $13.10, and that's a total profit of 23%. So we're doing good in QYLD. A lot of that is, of course, the monthly dividends that we're getting. So if we take a look at our history, we do have a stock lending payment that was at the beginning of this month. And our last dividend was 66 cents, which was at the end of November. So we should have one coming up. I don't see it showing up here. Hopefully we'll see it when we do this again next week. But the dividend payments have been doing really well for this. 66 cents for, let's see, how many shares do I have? 3.69 shares. So that's not bad. 66 cents for 3.5 shares. So we're looking good with QYLD. Our next stock that we're going to take a look at is ARMOUR Residential REIT. So we take a look at our investment for ARMOUR Residential REIT. We put $48.40 into ARMOUR Residential REIT, and we're currently sitting at $45.86. So 45.86. So we are up over the last episode, but just by a little bit. So we're still down overall. We're down by $2.54, which is 5.25%. But the dividend payments with our residential REITs will eventually put us back up. We do have a dividend coming in on the 30th. So that is a couple days from now, and it's for 59 cents. And that is for 2.5 shares, 2.45 shares. So it's really high dividend. We do have a 100% hold on this one. So if we take a look at our history, we do have a stock lending payment of 1 cent. And we will hopefully see another one in the next episode. Maybe we'll probably see one pending a week from now. And we do have the 58 cents dividend payment as well. So we're down on ARMOUR Residential REIT, but not by much, just by a little bit. If we jump into our last one, which is YieldMax. So our YieldMax coin, we put $28 into YieldMax, and it is currently sitting at $40.91. That is a huge jump. So we are now up by $12.91. We're up by 46% on YieldMax. So the dividend payments for YieldMax have been insane, and that's one of the reasons why we're up by so much. So our last dividend payment, $3.61, and that's from 0.22 shares. Is that, how many shares do we have? No, we have almost 3 shares, but still $3.64. That is really, really high. And then we did buy, we put $7 into it back in November. That's the last time I've done one of these. It's been a little while. So we are way up with YieldMax coin, and I'm just going to go ahead and put another $7 into this because the dividend payments for this is just absolutely insane. So I'm going to go ahead and put those in. All right, so the order is queued up. And so overall, if we take a look at our overall stats, so our total investment in stocks is 262.21. I just put another $7 into YieldMax. So let me Let me actually do that. Actually, you know what? It hasn't gone through yet. So let me not change that, because it's going to be it's going to look like I put $7 in, but I didn't get anything back. So I'm gonna just leave that until next time. I'll go ahead and do that once we're off camera. But for now, we have 26221 and we're at 30661. So we're up by $44. We're up by 16% on stocks. So now let's jump into crypto. So with crypto, we're on DexFi. You can see DexFi did a huge revamp for their vaults. And if we take a look at my vaults, we got the ETH USDC and ETH USDT vaults is what I'm locked in. So we do have our current values. Let's see, here's a good spot to look at that. So we got $78.24 at deposit. It is currently sitting at $81.06. So that has actually gone down since the last episode that we've done. And that puts us in a profit of $2.82. And we're up by 3.6%. So I do have a lot of profit sitting in here that I can take. I have almost $10 that I can claim. And I did make a investment in the last episode, so I have $7 extra that I can play with as well. What I want to do is I have a lot of stuff in ETH right now, and I want to put some in something else. So I want to take all of this plus the $14 for this week and putting in a different asset. I'm thinking about AVAX. I've seen some good AVAX vaults, and I've been wanting to get back into AVAX in a while. So I'm going to take all of this and put that into AVAX. Unfortunately, here on Dex 5, they don't really have any good AVAX vaults. They just have one. And I really want a 100% compound vault. I did look at some of the positions that they did have. I saved up some stuff for some other things, but like I said, I already have enough in ETH on Beefy. And so I want to put some in something else. So I'm going to take all that and put it into AVAX on Beefy. But before we take a look at the vault, this is what I have in my Beefy stake. $274.27 deposit. I'm getting a monthly yield of $15.51, 51 cent a day. So if we take a look at the actual vaults, so I put in $202.98, and that is sitting at, actually, let me just go back and look at those stacks. So 274.27. 274.27. So that puts us up over the last video. We're up by $71.29, and that puts us in a profit of 35.12%. So we are way up in crypto. Overall, we are up by 26.35%. So out of all of the assets, we are up the highest in crypto. So if we take a look at the Beefy vaults, so I actually saved 2 vaults. I have another ETH vault. This one is paying 380% right now on Camelot. Camelot is a exchange that I'm not familiar with, but they're paying really high payouts right now, and they actually have a really high TVL. So the TVL on Camelot is actually almost 4 million for this vault. So that makes me feel really good about it. And I have the AVAX vault that I was looking at, which is on Pharaoh, which is also paying over 300%. And Pharaoh has currently 1.5 million TVL on their exchange for this particular vault. And so these are some new exchanges that I'm going to put some money into. And because their TVLs are so high, I feel like I can trust them. So I'm going to do that off camera. I'm going to take everything from Dex Finance and put that into Avalanche and put it on the Pharaoh vault. And I'm going to take everything from my Sushi Swap vault and put that onto Camelot. And I'm going to come back when all that's done. All right, so I am finally done. So I have all kinds of issues. I tried to put the ETH into Camelot, but as you can see, as soon as I did that, the APY tanked. It's now at 16%. So I decided to take the money out of there. I tried to put it back into the old vault, but I kept getting this error about the claim price being out of range. And so I had to wait in order to put it in, or the CLM price was out of range. And so while I was waiting, I actually found a vault here on DexFi that I liked. It's another ETH vault. And so I put all of my ETH into here. So I have $273 into there. I lost a few cents to just transferring all the crypto back and forth. But that still is a really good yield. It's 115%, which is more than what I was getting on Beefy. And it is 100% compound. So I'm going to leave it in there. We will see how much I start getting in the next episode, the daily yield and all of that. So that's where my Ethereum is. And then for the stuff that I had in here, I actually put that in Beefy in Avalanche. And so I was able to get everything into Pharaoh. And so I added the extra, I added the $9 profit, plus I added another $14. And that put me at $103 invested into here, earning $12 a month, 41 cents a day, 327% APY. So that is where we are at right now with crypto. And so if we go on a quick recap, so this is not going to have the moves that I made for today, but in gold and silver and metals, we are up by we are up by $68.69. Current value $359. So we're up by 24.4% overall in profit. In stocks, we are up by $44.40, which is a profit of 16.93%. We are still down in ARMOR Residential REIT, but everything else is up. And as the dividends come in, we'll eventually be up in that one as well. And finally, in crypto, we were up by $74.11 with a profit of 26.35%. And I made some huge changes in crypto, and I will put all of that on this spreadsheet after the video, and we'll see how that does next week. So as always, thank you so much for watching. If you have any advice or any questions, just go ahead, leave them in the comments below, and I will catch you guys in the next video.